Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can tell, I have another sneaker unboxing. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Nike Air Max Sunder. Before we get into the video though, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you're an existing subscriber, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment because, that helps with the algorithm, helps me get more views. Without much further ado, let's get into the sneaker itself. Starting off with the box. Now, I gotta tell you, I don't think this is a very retro, vintage kind of a Nike box, but I don't think in any of the sneakers I've ever purchased, I've had this kind of a box. So this is interesting. You have this reversed kind of the inside of a box kind of a colorway, and then you just have these red and black heads with some text going there, just do it. Now this is a women's pair, so it came with the women's sizing. That's a 10.5, but you know how sizing works. I picked up a US 9. So whenever you need to pick up a pair that's in women's sizing, whatever size you are, add 1.5 to it. I'm a US 9, therefore I picked up a 10.5. So the Nike Sunder, or the Sunder as we call it in India, I'm just kidding, we don't call it that, but Sunder does mean beautiful. It used to be called the Nike Sunder Max, but right now you can see it's called the Air Max Sunder. So there's that slight shift of words, and I think this came out in 1999, so essentially we're celebrating 25 years of the Sunder Max. With that being said, let's lift the lid and get the pair out. Bam! The Nike Air Max Sunder in that Canyon Gold colorway. Now this pair came out sometime in July, I guess mid-July, and I was really excited for the highlighter pack. And when I went into the store, all three colorways were available. There were two in my size in the Canyon Gold colorway, whereas the highlighter pack, which is your pink and your Volt, had just one in my size. And I actually went to pick up the pink pair, and when I had them all three in hand, I was like, man, the Volt was also calling out, but there's nothing that beats an OG colorway. So I had to get this. I had to go with that Canyon Gold colorway. This is quite a beautiful pair. It's very retro and keeping with what's going on right now in the sneaker scene. A lot of runners and all of that. It's only right that they brought this out. Now let's go through the details quickly of this pair. Starting off with that midsole. You see the air unit right there on your heel, and you also have these mini air units on your forefoot, and that has a very like what I'd seen on the V2K kind of a design, the shank, but it's not really a shank plate because as you'd see on the outsole, man, is it just me or does it look like an Aztec kind of a print? But the outsole is kind of grippy. These nubs, right, they really stick out. So you see these orange bits are recessed, whereas these black bits are sticking out a lot more. And then you have this really interesting badge like your TN Air. You have the MX or the Max Air kind of a jeweled design right here. Now moving on to the upper. Well, these dominoes, and I'm not talking about Domino's pizza, I'm talking about those dominoes. Well, these domino kind of designs actually are in 3M, so you hit it with a flashlight and they will bounce back, reflect. You have this new buck kind of a black panel that runs all through the pair. And then of course you have the upper area, which to me feels like neoprene, but it could be nylon or polyester. And then right here you have the detailing with those three leading dots, whereas on the back you have a pull tab with the Nike Air done right there. This very I don't know what you would call that, geometrical design, this geometrical artwork, an interesting mini swoosh done right here, and then of course you have the Air branding done here on the midfoot. The zipper, the highlight of the shoe, can you call it that? Maybe if it was a highlighter pack, yeah. So anyway, I've done the zipper, and underneath that you have a separate bootie construction with your laces right here. So you will see this bootie stretches out all through. No. So you have them separated from the upper, and that's where your foot sits in. And this bit right here reminds me of a Air Jordan 11 in terms of how the laces run through, you know, very reminiscent of an Air Jordan 11. As I undo the laces, which are flat by the way, you'll see there's another pull tab right here and a Nike swoosh done there. And the interesting bit about this is that you have these 4 numbers, these 4 digits done right here on this tongue, which I have to point out the rest of the tongue is all mesh, like you can see right here. That's the booty, that's the mesh tongue. And then you have this nubuck panel right here with the swoosh, and you have the numbers 6453. Now for those of you that don't know, back when we had a QWERTY keypad, it wasn't a QWERTY keypad, was it? No, it was an alphabetical keypad. 6453 is what you'd have to type in to get Nike, but also the 1-800 number for Nike ended with 6453. So that's a nice callback to the brand. And your insole is also done in that same Canyon Gold, and it has the Nike swoosh with the Air branding done right there. So that's it for the details of the pair. Let's discuss a little bit about sizing. Like I was saying, in terms of sizing, I went true to size. So this is my true size, US 9, UK 8 in men's sizing and a 10.5 in women's. The length is just perfect, but it's a little tricky, you know, because if you have broad feet, it becomes difficult for you to close the zip right here, because I've had this problem where my midfoot right here is quite tall, I guess. So when I wear the shoe, I can barely zip it half the way through. I mean, I can zip it all the way through, but the lockdown is just too tight, and that doesn't feel too good on feet. So I'd probably wear it with the zip done halfway through. However, if you went up a half size, and it might actually work with your feet being broad, the length I feel would be a little too much. And I'm not sure if these would break in and loosen up or expand, because it's my first pair of Air Max Sunders. But I gotta tell you, speaking of breaking it in, although the midsole is all nice and squishy and cushion, the ride that I can compare this to is an Air Max 90. So it's comfy, but it's firm. You know, if you ever worn a pair of Air Max 90s, how the ride on it is, it's very firm footed with a bit of comfort. This is nothing like a Vomero or a Peg 2005. But obviously we also got to remember that it is from the 90s, so the tech is going to be in the 90s. I wonder what's stopping them from putting a React midsole on this, because React is super comfy. But I digress. So that's it for sizing, you know. It's true to size. If you have really broad feet, I would still say get a true to size pair and keep your zipper down. If you are so hell-bent on having the zipper up, then go up a half size, but be wary that it's going to be a lot longer than would be comfortable. You know, Nike has another women's Air Max pair coming out sometime soon. It's called the Air Max Portal, and that shoe reminds me a lot of the Sunder because of the way the midsole is shaped. I guess it's got a very big air unit, but the Air Max Portal has a chunkier midsole, so it's going to add a lot of height. I'm actually quite excited for the pair. I don't know if I'd pick a pair for myself, but I like the look of it. An interesting thing about the zipper is that this ring, you see, it doesn't go back and forth. It's fixed like that. So you lift it up, you can't flick it back down. But what helps is that it's kind of like a rubber, so it's pliable. So it doesn't really obstruct or hurt your midfoot or your shin. And that's how it is. Having said that, I'll slip these on feet and show you what they look like. So here's the Air Max Sunders on feet. And like you can tell, as I was saying, my midfoot area is kind of high right here. I've zipped it up half the way. So let's see if we were to try zipping it up with one hand and with ease. That's where it gets stuck, because beyond that, it gets a lot more tighter. Although I can do it, I'm a little worried. See, now that's the zip all the way, still not all the way to the top, but you know, I can feel like a severe lockdown right there. So I'd probably wear it with the zip down half the way, and here as well. Man, I guess it's not meant for us high midfoot men, but I'm gonna pull it up half the way and leave it right there. This one will have to go a little down then. In low light it's probably a lot more evident, but you see that the upper has this gradient. It's got this very yellowish and then it darkens out to a burnt orange, which is of course your Canyon Gold colorway. I guess like you'd see in the Grand Canyons as the sun is setting. I used to call this the sunset orange before I realized what the name actually was. And the reason I got the sunset feeling is because it's like dusk, no? Bam! That's an upside down shoe. Thanks for staying all the way to the end, you guys. I appreciate you. Take it easy on yourself, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!